This man sacrificed his company for a cult. What happened to the employees? Do people really fall for this? And what even is this cult? All these questions are going to be answered. But first, who is this man? Aaron Kyro. This man is a very talented skateboarder. I want to paint this picture for you real fast. It's 2005, you love skateboarding, and you just got a video camera. 2005 also happened to be the first year YouTube was born. And I want you to think about uploading a video to YouTube. Say, this is interesting. Now all this time you're skating, you're tearing it up, you're doing some dark slides at your local park. You're doing some crazy tricks, okay? And a few years go by. And then in 2010, you hear YouTube is now monetizing some of the videos. So you decide to upload even more. And you have a couple banger vids, which honestly, you've probably seen before. When I was doing my research for this video, I remember watching years and years ago some of these videos, like skateboarding on a glass skateboard, trying to kickflip on this iron rod skateboard. That's pretty cool. So as you can imagine, this is where the money started to come in. And things are good. You're a skateboarder, you're getting views on YouTube, your business is thriving. Now he just made a paid class where you can learn how to ollie, kickflip, do all that, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. Now eventually this continued to evolve until he made Braille House, which was his own skate park, had some branded merch. Things were great. You essentially made it as a skateboarder at that point. Had a couple more absolutely banger videos, and things are good. Things are a little too good. That is for at least some of his employees and the viewers. Now this is where Scientology comes into play. For those of you who don't know, Scientology is, for legal purposes, I want to specify that some people say it tends to operate like a cult. I, however, am not saying that, but some people have a proclivity to say that. Okay, now this religion was put together by L. Ron Hubbard in the 1950s. I wasn't very familiar with Scientology before making this video. Seems to be shrouded in secrecy and paywalls, dare I say. It seems the aim of Scientology is somewhat noble, a civilization without insanity, without criminals, and without war, where the world can prosper and honest beings can have rights, and where man is free to rise to greater heights are the aims of Scientology. I like how honest beings can only have rights, implying, like that 13-year-old scam artist we saw in the last video has no rights. Seeing an interesting juxtaposition between honesty and secrecy, which is only unlocked through paying. Simply an observation. But regardless, this is the beliefs of our good friend, Aaron Kyro. Now, he credits most of his success to Scientology with some of the classes and courses that he took.
So when I came here, I was really, really shy, very shy. I could not communicate. And I did a communications course, and it totally helped me communicate. It helped me a lot. And from that point forward, I just had this ability to communicate. It helped me a lot. So I'm not going to say, oh, well, that didn't work for me. Or, oh, somebody said something bad about that, so I'm just going to stop. No way. That really helped me. So I did that course, and it really did change my life.
Cool. In what ways besides that?
It was really that.
Oh, okay.
It broke me out of my shell, and then I was able to communicate. And now I built an entire career on communicating.
Now, in some interviews, Aaron said that he only paid, less than $200 for his access to Scientology.
What do you have to do?
You just do courses.
Just courses all the time?
Yeah. You don't even have to do them all the time. You could literally read a book. You could go to the library and rent a book for free and read the book.
Okay.
Or you could go in and do a course, and you just do a course. So it's very different. It's not like a Sunday, we're going to church on Sunday. It's you go in, you do a course, you learn a life skill, and then you use it in your life.
You have to pass the test.
No test. The courses cost a fee. So the communication course that I did was $100.
Oh.
And the books are range from $25 to $30.
But some people speculate that this is a tactic of the church to get more members. Some people say it is not that cheap. All right, so at this point, what's the big deal, right? So he's in a cult, all right? He's in a religion, let me specify, that could be perceived as a cult, and he's a successful skateboarder on YouTube. What's the big deal? So this is where things get interesting. The Braille House skate park rent was about 12 grand a month, which is a lot. And it's also around this time where allegedly Aaron started to make some donations to the Church of Scientology. Now, I've heard different people say different things, but it ranges from $75,000 to $1 million. Pretty crazy. That's a lot of faith. But this is where it starts to go downhill. Let me set this up, because before things started to break down, There was kind of this transition period in the YouTube channel. So in order to free up more of Aaron's time, he decided to hire Gabe Cruz, who for 3.5 years would manage essentially the entire YouTube channel.
So I basically handle everything you can possibly imagine. So I plan the videos, I do not edit them, but I am the boss of all the editors. I film the videos, I upload the videos, I do the thumbnails, I do the descriptions, I do the scheduling, I invite the guests, I schedule the guests, I coordinate Aaron and make sure he knows everything he has to do, all of the brand coordination, but mainly all the YouTube side of things is I'm the handler of.
Some of the other coworkers like Nigel Jones and Ricky Glazier were also working during this transition period. And this is the time where Aaron started to remove himself from the business. All right, nothing wrong with that. Typical business owner deal, right? Kind of setting up the systems, letting it run, kind of removing herself. But they said it was starting to get a little bit harder to communicate with Aaron. Now, people speculate why. When confronted about this, Aaron said directly that in the Church of Scientology, if someone isn't necessarily a supporter, that you need to essentially excommunicate them. You need to cut off ties with this person.
In Scientology, man, we're really getting into it. In Scientology, there's this thing, from what I understand, called the disconnection policy. And basically what that says is when someone in your life has shown that they are against Scientology, that you and other Scientologists need to completely cut this person out of your life and shun them and never talk to them ever again.
So this is an interesting situation because these are your employees. So it kind of creates a weird kind of dance, especially working for Braille House for years. You'd expect to have, maybe a deeper relationship with your boss, kind of understand what's going on behind the scenes. But when you maybe don't even know you've been excommunicated, it can be challenging. It makes communication very difficult, obviously. So it's kind of during this weird kind of miscommunicative time where things started to kind of take a turn. So like I said, rent for the warehouse was $12,000. I'm making $1 million or $750,000 investment to the Church of Scientology. It made things pretty tight for paying the warehouse. So what he did, I believe he said he took out a loan off his house. I don't know if it was some kind of HELOC or something, some home equity line of credit, in order to pay for the warehouse.
You guys must know that I did everything I could to save the Braille House. I literally took out a loan on my house. It was a home equity line of credit, and I've just been paying the warehouse rent from that. But there is a point where that breaks and that no longer can work. And we've hit that point.
And eventually he tried to do this as long as possible until he just had to let the warehouse go. Now, obviously, as an employee, this would be a very troublesome time. Here's what Nigel had to say about the warehouse closing.
Not even no goodbye session, no nothing. We get nothing. We get nothing. 10 years of your life.
Aaron, who typically doesn't call me or talk to me that often, called me while I was at a wedding over the weekend and was like, hey man, so the last day for the warehouse is going to be July 5th. So I was like, okay, well, that gives me exactly a week with the warehouse before it starts getting demolished. Come to find out, that wasn't true at all. As soon as I got off the phone, I messaged Derek, and Derek sent me a picture of the warehouse, and it was already ripped up.
Right, not a great situation. And again, Aaron is a full-grown man. He can do what he wants, but it's tough, right? When you've had employees for years, you really wish that this situation ended better, right? You really wish that there was more of a kind of ending to this chapter, at least. People on the internet were obviously critical of this move. On Braille's Instagram, there were limited comments during this time because people felt bad for the employees and they wanted someone to be held accountable. It is interesting, however, because the comments on YouTube were not censored. So there were comments here, comments there about, hey, what's going on? And others that are just more directly critical of Aaron. So this is just a difficult situation. The YouTube channel now is still posting videos and they seem to be doing okay, but it seems the situation kind of left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Directly said to his employees, because you don't support my beliefs, I kind of have to cut you off. I mean, that's a crazy thing to say to anyone. And the obvious response for the employee would be to leave. So maybe that's perhaps why, but it's just kind of a sticky situation. Not very fun. But there is a shred of hope on the internet. There is a TikToker who just created the greatest business idea in the world. And it's where he'll basically cuss out your boss for you. A beautiful idea, right? If you want to learn more about his rise to fame, click this video right here and I'll see you there.